Pickle, it's been almost 40 years since we've been able to describe anybody as the new head football coach of the Corpus Christi Calallen Wildcats. But we can do that now. We're joined on the phone line now by the new head coach of Corpus Christi Calallen, Coach Steve Campbell. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. How are things down there in Corpus Christi?
Well, we've had some cold weather. It's not real good, conducive for baseball and track right now, but we're working hard down here, trying to get ready for another season.
You know, that's actually an interesting place to start. You mentioned track. I know that we'll talk a lot about football here in a minute, but a lot of your time and energy there at Calallen over the past 30-something years has been on the track team, and I believe 16 district championships there with the Wildcats. How important do you feel like you guys' track success has been to what has been obviously success on the football field?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that track does nothing but help you in all sports. If you read even about Tiger Woods, he talks about how he did track, and there's a lot of pro athletes that think track is very conducive to making you a better athlete, and that's not just for men; it's for women as well. But no, I've been a big advocate for track for my 40 years of coaching, and nothing that you could tell me would ever tell me it would change my mind or make me feel any different, because at the end of every year we have a banquet, and I have everybody stand up in that banquet. When I ask them, I said, if y'all have either thrown your implement farther, you've either jumped higher or longer, or run faster at the end of the year, or faster than you've ever run in your life, and 99% of them will stand up. Mm-hmm. And so it's pretty evident that there's some advantages to running track.
You're taking over as the head coach there at Calallen, taking over for the retiring Phil Danaher. No pressure or anything, but this is you've of course been with Coach Danaher for his 38 years there at Calallen, and I'm interested. I know that around there have been kind of some scuttlebutt and some things about you being the next coach there, but when you finally got the hire, when it finally became official, I'm interested in what your feelings were in that moment.
Well, there's been some definite hesitation about the whole thing. I've been coaching for 40 years. I'm 63 years old, and there's always a saying in this business that you never follow a legend. And, you're kind of sticking your neck out when you do something like that. And so, I don't mind telling you, I've been kind of apprehensive and afraid of letting some people down, or there's just a lot of pressure on doing the right thing and keeping this thing going here at Calallen.
Well, it's obviously what Coach Danaher was able to do. They're the winningest coach in Texas high school football history. It's big shoes to fill, but at the same time, you've been a key part of those wins as well. You've been as defensive coordinator for more than 30 years, and I'm interested if you could describe the relationship that you have with Coach Danaher, because you're his longest tenured assistant by a healthy margin, and so I'm interested. Could you describe what your relationship with Coach Danaher is like?
He had about 10 years on me whenever I came over here and interviewed for this job, we were both very passionate about the sport of football. We're very passionate about being around young people and coaching athletics and being a good example. And so we had a lot of things in common in that regard. And we both extremely competitive, and never wanted to. Once we started winning, there's even more pressure on you to keep that thing going. But we've always had a good relationship. In fact, it was kind of funny. I was talking to a coach down that valley, and he said that every time the word Phil Danaher was brought up, the next name out of their mouth was Steve Campbell. Mm-hmm. And the comparison he made, he said, y'all are like peanut butter and jelly. And I thought that was kind of humorous.
Yes, most certainly. We're talking with Steve Campbell, the new head coach at Corpus Christi Calallen here on Texas Football Today. Get involved with the conversation and hashtag TF Today. Coach, one thing I've always been interested in, you've been there and been an extremely successful assistant there at Calallen for a long time, and in this business, in this industry, when you have success, your phone rings. And people call and say, "Hey, are you interested in this job?" I'm sure interested in that job. But you stayed there at Calallen, and I'm interested if there was ever a time where you thought about leaving, or if this was just the place for you.
Yeah, I did apply for a couple of jobs around here, and I, for whatever reason, didn't get them. But Jim Clyburn was a longtime assistant around here also, and he coached with Coach Danaher for many years. He was our offensive line coach, and he told me a long time ago that a good assistant's job is always a lot better than a bad head coaching job. And so I kind of always kept that in mind. Another thing that always kept me here is that I have a very close family and also an extended family. My mom and dad and my sister and brother-in-law hardly ever miss a game. I mean, they have season tickets, and so it's been a family operation around here for a long time, and always appreciate my family coming to the game, and I always tried to make them proud of what I was doing, and wanted them to be proud of me and the community.
Well, the community aspect belies another fact, which is that you're a Corpus guy. You went to Ray. You played high school ball at Ray, and then of course you before you were at Calallen, you were there at Tolosa Midway for a couple of years. So for you to get the opportunity to be a head coach and to get that opportunity in Corpus Christi, does that make it particularly special for you?
Yeah, it does. I was extremely flattered after they announced that I was going to get the job, and I had no less than 250 texts and just about as many phone calls from people around the community, and really ex-football players that called me and congratulated me on the job, and I was extremely flattered. And like I said, I've my extended family and friends that's been around here. I was, like you said, I went to Ray High School, graduated in 1977, and there's still some people around here that I don't want to be that person that they read in the newspaper that did something wrong. I want to be that person on TV and the newspaper that did something right. And so I always wanted to, make sure that I made my friends and family proud.
And finally, Coach, we mentioned that it's been a long time since there's been a new head coach there, but and you are as closely tied to Coach Danaher as anybody. But I'm interested in what a Steve Campbell coached Wildcats team is going to look like. Every coach, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and there are few programs as in good shape as Calallen is. But I'm interested in how you balance keeping the tradition alive of everything you guys have been doing while still putting your own stamp on the program. Do you have a feel quite yet on how you'll split that difference?
Well, I'm gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball. That's what I know best. I've coached the secondary for every year for 40 straight years of my career, and that's what I played in high school and tried to play in college. But I'm going to stay on that side. So there's not going to be a whole lot of things changing there. In the offensive side, we actually had some offensive meetings, and I've actually said, listen, y'all need, even though I'm not an offensive coach, I'm going to tell you what drives me crazy. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to change a few things here and there, and we're going to try to make the opposing defenses go crazy like I do and put me through all that stress and torture. And we're going to try to do that to our opponents. So there's going to be a few little things that we're going to do and some of it is what we did years ago, and it kind of disappeared for one reason or another, but we're going to kind of get back to some of those things.
He's Steve Campbell. He's the new head coach of the Corpus Christi Calallen Wildcats. Coach, congratulations again on the new job. We can't wait to see what you do with the Wildcats.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.